All right, good morning. How is everyone this morning? All right, we have to wake you up a little bit, sounds like. All right. Well, hey, this is our last day. We're going to finish strong. As my strength coach would always tell us, finish strong, always run through the goal line. I get an opportunity just to kind of share a little bit with you this morning, just for a few seconds. And I said, I have for my Gator fans out there, it's only right that I share a Gator story. There we go, my Gator fans over there. There we go. And so I tell people this all the time. I was a guy who totally outplayed my talent level. I wasn't super fast, wasn't big. I actually went to the University of Florida, went to college, weighing about 150 pounds. And I actually walked on at the University of Florida. And my first day I walked into the weight room, I was introduced to a 6'5", 270-pound strength coach named Pat. And Pat said, I remember this quite clearly. Pat said, "My name is Pat, and I'm your friend." Now, after an hour and 30 minutes of befriending Pat, I found myself face down, passed out exhausted, with Pat standing over me saying, "Remember me, I'm Pat. Now get a mop and clean up my weight room." And I'm saying to myself, holy cow, this is college football. I thought I was a pretty good athlete. This guy was challenging me, taking me to the next level. So over the next 2.5 years, I worked out with Pat endlessly, doing things that I didn't imagine that I could ever do, lifting weights, running, sprinting, trying to get one shot on the football field. And so here it is, 2.5 years, I would stand behind Coach Steve Spurrier the entire time on the sideline. Wherever Coach Spurrier would go, I would go. Wherever Steve would go, I would go. Just behind Coach Steve Spurrier, up and down the sideline, my entire 2.5 years. Anybody know why? Get in the game? I wish that was the answer. No, see, the camera, television camera is always on the head coach. And if you're in the background, you could do this right here, and people can actually see that you're actually on the team, right? And so that was my way of showing my family and friends I actually was on the team. So here it is, all of a sudden, we're in my hometown, Jacksonville, Florida, playing against the Georgia Bulldogs of all teams. And someone dropped a pass on the field. And Coach Spurrier was classic Coach Spurrier. He's livid, throwing his visor down, and he turns around, and I will never forget this moment. He says, "Give me a receiver." Well, I've been standing here 2.5 years waiting for this moment. And I remember the look, and I hope you never give your employees this look. He looks at me, Todd, and he says, "No, give me a receiver, give me a receiver." Right? And finally, I guess there was nothing left in the cupboard, because he looks and he says, "Willis, get in there." So that's what he sent me on the field with for the first time. Willis, get in there. I tell you, it was an amazing story for me. I had prepared for that moment. I did the math. I practiced 5,360 hours waiting for that one Willis, get in there moment. That day changed my life from a football perspective. Got in the game for the first time and had 5 catches for 100 yards, and he was able to say, "Wow, this little kid can play. He's okay." And from that point on, it changed my college career. I tell that story because, all of us in this room will have that Willis, get in there moment, right? Now, the question is, will you be prepared when God tees you up and throws you in for that moment? Have you prepared yourself to really take advantage of that moment? So I want to challenge you from this conference to set yourself up. Be prepared and be ready so that when God says, "Willis, get in there," you are ready to just take over for the kingdom of God. So are you ready this morning for us to get started? All right, I like to hear that.
Alright, I'm ready now. I ain't gonna fall back.
Hey, we're at the end of Current'19. We had a phenomenal time here. You saw amazing speakers. We had great breakout sessions, great business owners connecting, glorifying God, and now we get a chance to go out and change the world. And so I'm excited. I'm hyped. But now it's really time to kind of put some to-dos in place, as Mike challenged in his last talk. You know, things like this get you excited, they get you ready and you're pumped up, but then you forget to go take action. And so we're really now it's time to take one thing, you know, just take one nugget to say, you know, what's the one thing that, you know, that I can take and implement into my business that will change lives, will change my family, will change my business for the better. And so now, this is where a lot of people make mistakes, because you have all these ideas, you have all these books of ideas, and you fail to take time now after the conference to sit down and read those things, think through those things, strategize, pray about those things to see, of all the golden nuggets that you've taken, which one should you start to implement? That's the challenge. You know, the challenge with us as business owners is there's a blessing and a curse. The blessing is the ideas that we have. The curse is that we get so many of them. And so therefore you have all these ideas and so many of them and coming, and you never begin to implement and follow through with those things. And so I'm challenging myself this time after this conference to really spend the next day just kind of reading through notes and praying, just kind of thinking through some things to see which of these things I'm going to implement. So phenomenal time here. We'll talk more as we end this trip, but this is the end of the conference, and it's been a blast. See you guys soon.
All I ever ask, are you gonna be my lover tonight? I'll take you with me. What if I left and it made no sense? And you tell your friends and they hold your hands, baby, never mind.
We are going downstairs to eat and then flying back to Gainesville so that I can see my wife and these little girls, and I'm super excited. Been a long time away from them. Yes! Someone asked me this question last night, which was simple but powerful for me. He said, are you willing to give up on your dream and say, God, I'm willing to go after your dream that you have for me? God, what do you have for me? Not what I have for myself. Because I mean, you run a company and do, those kind of things. You're driven, you're pretty driven, and you have these visions for where you want to take the company, what you're thinking you're going to do. And it was just an amazing time for me journaling this morning and saying, God, I'm afraid of that question. To be honest with you.
So what if it's different than what I want?
Right, exactly.
No, I've thought that too. Where like God, it's a dangerous question to ask Him to, give you things,
right?
Because generally it's
right.
It's like, okay, what do you have to change?
Right. All right, here we are, final leg of a long week. My eyes tell it all. This week we were in Omaha, Sioux City, Sioux Falls, back to Omaha, straight to Atlanta. Oh, I forgot to tell you that we had food poisoning while in Omaha. So we spent a whole night throwing up and not feeling well at all. But that was my Michael Jordan moment. Got a chance to be like Mike and fight through an illness, then fly straight to Atlanta, change like Superman, show up to your 5:30 practice run for the session to finally lay it down, man, and do the work. And here we are after a great 2.5 days, tired because you're talking to people all the time, which is fun, but it's tiring. You can be tired because you have no downtime, little sleep, but we made it through. I love challenging myself every week with something new. This was a big one. But we made it, and now I get a chance to go home. I'm gonna rest for a few seconds, because when I go home, those girls are waiting on me, and they're ready to pounce and have fun. So we gotta get ready to be dad and have a good time. So, I'm out. Have a good one, guys. Back home, tired, exhausted. Man, it's one of those brutal weeks where you push yourself, you challenge yourself, you push yourself. And it was total full engagement all week, from training, multiple trainings, hosting, remembering lines and things of that nature. They're remembering people, constantly, engaging people, which was awesome. But right now I'm drained. So I'll grab a car,
go see my wife Sabrina and hang out. My girls are away, so that's fun. So I can hang out with Sabrina, just talk and catch up with her. But now it's time to grab, put on my cape and be Superman, you know, at home and have fun with her. So it's a great trip, and we'll fly out again in 2 days. So Sunday comes early. Sunday's coming. All right, heading to Chicago on Sunday. Have a good one, guys.